I assume, what do you do for a living?
I'm a doorman.
Obviously, you conform there. What do you have, gold buttons and all that?
Yeah, well, I have to wear the uniform.
You're a single person, are you?
Yes.
Okay. And you're happy and leave me alone. Is that what you want to say? Okay.
Straight people.
You think so?
When I walk down the street, they got long faces I don't have. Oh, yes.
So the folks here gathered who have, as we call them, our regular ticket holders.
And I'm probably older than a lot of them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're happier than they are.
Well, at least outwardly, I appear to be. I mean, they may be happy as hell inside. I don't know.
Yeah.
But their outward appearance belies it.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
I'm a free spirit within reason.
And you don't hurt anybody?
No.
Right. Okay. Al, stay with us now. I may need you later, though. All right, Al. Al Jorgensen is 25. He's a musician and leader of the band called Ministry from Chicago, Illinois. Al, you're in this for a living, I assume, huh?
Yeah, for now, anyways.
I'm sorry?
For now.
Uh-huh. Do you play new wave, or what's the nature of the material that you offer to your...
I don't know.
You have no idea.
You tell me.
Okay.
You tell me.
Let me get back here to Serena Dank. Miss Dank has been with us before, more than a couple of years ago. She is founder of a group called Parents of Punkers. This is literally an organization of parents who looked up and suddenly their kids have purple hair. And what is not so funny is it does, as we have already seen from Mrs. Morrissey, bring a good deal of pressure to the family, pain, and all those other things. What happened? How did I go wrong? Is this a big thing, or are we preoccupied here with a narrow segment of our society?
I think it's getting bigger and bigger. As a matter of fact, it started in Los Angeles, and it's moving across the country. And I'm not saying this in a negative way. I'm just saying that a lot younger children are attracted to it. And as I look in the audience, I see older punks. I deal a lot with 11, 12, and 13-year-olds, and I think that's far more frightening to a parent.
Yeah. I know this is complicated, Ms. Dank, but give us your briefest analysis of what you think is going on here.
I think what's happening is a lot of the kids are becoming aware much younger, and as a statement that Darragh said, they're upset with society, they're upset with a non-caring society, and in essence it's a message, and the first thing that happens is the parents reject them, and then they continue to reject authority.
Yeah.
So exactly what is the bottom line? What are you trying to accomplish? What's the light at the end of the tunnel?
World domination.
I have to say
believe that.
they dress differently. If I were to walk down a dark street at night and one of these people were to come along, I would be frightened. But sitting and listening to them, I find them to be very intelligent.
We are human.
I think this young lady having a shipping clerk job. I think she speaks well. Most people who hold jobs like that don't speak as intelligently.
Yeah, including some talk show hosts. Here's the caller there. Hi.
Yes, he is. Good morning, sir.
Not much time.
Couldn't you consider the punkers of today the love child or the hippies of the 70s?
Let me get, good question. Let me get Charles M. Young here. Looking pretty straight to me. This young man is the contributing editor to Musician magazine. He's also a consultant to MTV, the music, radio, video, and has followed the punk phenomenon for some time. What is this, a follow-on to the hippies, or what do you think?
Oh, they're not the hippies at all. The punks have already lasted longer, and in terms of message content, they have more to say. There are fewer drugs at punk concerts, for example, than there ever were among hippies, because there's a straight edge movement that developed with a band called Minor Threat from Washington, D.C., and their whole thing was, if you read the lyrics, actually, of most of the bands, about half the songs are about, wake up, think for yourself, and break through your social conditioning, which is what a lot of the kind of the gross out aspect of it is about. I think it's into shocking people into thinking for themselves.
Right. Doesn't the environment of the punk rock theatrical experience lead, or at least usually create, the dissonance and the energy that leads to violence?
No, it's, if I had a kid, I'd rather have him go to a punk show than playing a football game. terms of violence.
You agree? Huh?
It's absolutely true. There's a lot of cooperation that goes on there's a lot of cooperation that goes on in a punk show when there's stage diving and skanking, which there's slam dancing, as it's called on the East Coast. And, I mean, kids help each other out. Someone falls down, they pick them up. It's not, they're not, it looks like a riot, but they're not fighting.
I'm sorry, I agree with part of it. I don't agree particularly with the punk movement. I agree with what he said about football. I don't like football. I think...
I seem, you say that punk rocking is not violence or anything, non-violent. I thought that too, and I went to a punk rock dance, and they were slamming into each other. They hit me a few times off the head. You know, I'm lucky to have my two bouncers here to help me out.
Well, there's...
It's the same thing as walking down Michigan Avenue. It's no different.
No, you can it's what it is at a large punk concert, what it is there is freedom to violate anyone else's body space, but you're not free to punch someone in the nose. You're free to, you know, flail around and pogo and whatever.
That's not true. Absolutely. I've been to punk concerts. And 3 weeks ago, a young man that I know very well came home. He was beat up by 15 punks and spent the entire night in the hospital being repaired.
I'm not saying it's violence-free, and that stuff happens, and they're always...
it continues to happen.
Particularly on the left.
There are no rules in a punk concert.
There's no rules in life either. I mean, you can get beat up
Hang on just a
anywhere,
second.
you know?
I disagree with the violence not being in it. I've been to Belgium where there have been punks on the corner throwing sticks out at old ladies walking by. And also at Neo's. I've been to Neo's. I've seen guys dance at Neo's. Yes, I do get in punk clothes too, but
Yeah, you can't
no,
get off
they
of that, can you,
take their...
Charles?
No, I'm not. I'm in a position here I don't want to defend entirely. I mean, certainly there's been violence at punk concerts, and particularly in the late 70s, it was much sicker than it is now. But I think there's been a large effort, particularly among the older bands, to get the punks to police themselves.
Why do they try and hurt themselves? Put pins in their ears or cheeks, slam their hands while they're dancing against glass or the wall?
It's called piercing your ear.
Piercing your ear. They want to know how's that different from you? Are your ears pierced?
Twice.
Twice, as in two different ears or two different?
In each ear.
Right, well, they want to know what's the difference between your pierced ears and theirs?
I'm talking about when it first came out, it was pins in the cheek, pins all over, torn clothes.
Yeah.
They're slamming mirrors while they're dancing or hurting themselves.
Yeah.
I just don't understand.
Are you there? Hi.
I just like to make a point. I'm a manager of a major retail chain here in Chicago, and I did have a person who worked for me who did have a punk hairstyle, and I did lose considerable sales because of it, because I did have a store in a very conservative area.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, I had to let the person go. I had nothing against the person personally. It's just that I
He
was
turned
losing
off the
sales.
customers. Was he otherwise a responsible employee?
Oh, yes. He came to work on time and everything else, but
Yeah.
unfortunately, because of the area, I just had to let him go. He refused to change his hairstyle. I asked him several times.
Yeah, what color was his hair?
He had a blonde hair with a pink ponytail.
Hang on a moment. Is the caller there?
Yes, I am.
Go ahead.
I would just like to say that while I was in high school, I wore what my mother wanted me to wear. I should say, I did everything everyone wanted me to do. I probably broke more rules and did more drugs and stuff like that, by the time I was 14. I got pregnant. I have 2 kids now. I dress how I want to. I should say look rather lawless. I, probably look like a biker. But,
How old are you now?
now I'm 21.
As the
so
married?
I can drink legally, so sometimes, I go out to a bar or something.
Right.
But I'd say, I don't litter. I don't do drugs now. My mother comments on the way I look still, but she says I'm a wonderful mother.
Your marriage is held up.
Oh, yes.
Your husband is working outside the home?
Yes.
Are you?
No.
So he's got enough income to take care of it.
Yes.
How do you feel about what you've heard from the young women on the stage, Dareth and Kat? Do you identify with what they're saying?
Yeah. I'd like to say that being a woman myself, I like to look like a punker because then I don't get those feminist remarks.
You don't get hit on.
Yeah, right. They think I'll hit them.
Uh-huh.
I like that.
What's the matter?
People don't.
Hang on a minute.
Yeah.
Hang on.
handle you different.
I was just making a comment. They're thinking about the way she was saying, fine, she's doing good at work, okay? But I like to wear mini skirts and things like that during the summer, too. But it's a way of business. It's a way of getting along. People are going to look at you a certain way, and they're going to think, well, how am I going to deal with this person?
But they're saying that the way people look at you, hang on just one second, the way people look at you is shaped by a culture that has values that are screwed up. So apparently this chap who worked for the fellow who called would rather be unemployed than surrender to what he considers to be corrupt influences.
It's not corrupt. There's absolutely nothing the matter with it. They're just open enough to look and express the way they want to, which is fine. Everybody has that right to do that. But society is looking at it in a way where it's a little bit more outrageous, so that it's going to be looked upon that way.
Right. Still not sure how do you feel about it?
Well, I'd like...
Wait a minute.
I work in a bank, and as a matter of fact, yesterday I was told that I couldn't wear pants that came to the ankle, which is like a new style too, because it wasn't good for business. Now, if I...
You mean like a harem cut?
No, pants that like come, like not too, like above the ankle.
Oh, I see. That expose like a boot or a shoe.
Right, and it's not right. And
you have to wear trousers or pants that go all the way to the ankle.
Right, business-like.
Bankers said that.
Yes, they did.
See, they think this is ridiculous.
But it's not. They've got a right point.
They want to know why some blue suit is able to tell you how long your pants should be.
Because that's the way it is. It's the way business and things have gone that way. I don't think there's anything the matter with that. I think it's fine. But people are going to look at you and they're going to think something different, and it's not going to be what it should be.
Okay. That's a very practical diagnosis of what is, in fact, the norm. I've got to run, but how long have you been drug-free?
Me?
Yeah.
Since I found out I was pregnant, I stopped drinking, stopped smoking, and stopped smoking marijuana.
And how old is your oldest baby?
2 years old.
How much?
2. So it'll be 3 in a couple months.
And you have a younger one than that?
Yes.
Really? Do you jog or knit or do anything?
Yes, I jog, I jog, I climb rocks, I ride horses.
Yeah. What are you going to do today?
What am I going to do today? If it clears up, I'll probably go out to the playground with my kids.
Right. I assume that if your daughter came home at age... Is it a daughter, your oldest?
Yeah, I have 2 daughters.
Okay, if they came home at age 14 or whatever it might be, with yellow hair and a pink ponytail and, you know what I mean, purple, would you be upset?
No, if they had the guts to do it, I'd let them do it.
Well, that's a really good point.
I mean, I kind of look at it
Because
this way. You see policemen out there.
Hang on just a moment. Yeah, Charles.
It takes a lot of courage to look this way. And that's a very important lesson in democracy, to be able to stand up for your beliefs. I mean, this is training for courage.
And I've got a break. I'm glad you called. Kiss the kids. We'll be back in just a moment.